Om Shanti. This is the Avyakt MURLI of the 4th of January 2015. It has been revised from the 16th of January 1979. The title is The Way to Become One Who Constantly Has a Tilak, Crown and Throne. The way, the yukti, to become one who constantly has a tilak, crown and throne, who has tilak, taj and takdhari. Bap Dada was seeing the difference between the present and the future of all the children. On seeing the present time of the children, Bap Dada was pleased, and yet, at the same time, on seeing the unique behavior of some of the children, he also felt mercy. The Father makes you so elevated, yet, because of some small mistake, because of their carelessness, children come down from their elevated stage. Today, Bap Dada was especially looking at the various amusing forms of the children. As soon as you take your Brahmin birth in the confluence age, Bap Dada gives you the crown of serving the world. However, today, Baba saw an entertaining game. Some had a crown and also their tilak, but others, instead of wearing a crown, were carrying on their heads bundles of the big and small sins they had committed now and in the past, and also the burden of their disobedience while moving along. Some were wearing a crown, whereas others had a bundle on their heads. The bundles were number-wise, some big and others small. Instead of being double light, instead of constantly being a trustee in Brahmin life, some had a basket of various burdens of being a householder on their heads. On seeing this, Bap Dada felt mercy for them. What else did he see? You have been given many easy methods by the Father, but because your intellects are not constantly connected, because you make easy things difficult, because you have adopted many difficult methods, you were visible in your tired form. Instead of experiencing this to be an easy path, some of you seem to be having to force yourselves to use the means of effort. What else did he see? Just as the sun is hidden when clouds come in front of it, so too, because the clouds of Maya come again and again, many children step away from the sun of knowledge and then try to find the sun again. Sometimes they would be in front of the sun, and sometimes they would step away from it. They remain busy in playing this game. As well as this, because some children are mischievous, they come out of the Father's lap of remembrance and begin to play in the dust of Maya and the mud of body consciousness. Instead of playing with the jewels of knowledge, they play with mud. The Father moves them away from the mud again and again, but because of their sanskars of creating mischief, they still become dirty. Some children are attracted by attractive things that bring temporary happiness and become so engrossed in those things that, for that duration, they forget about the time and the imperishable attainment. Then, they later regain consciousness. Baba saw many unique forms of the children. Now, check yourself to see what your form is. Bap Dada wants to see every child constantly in this elevated form. Why do you put aside your crown and heart throne and carry a basket of burdens? Do you prefer the crown? Do you prefer the taj, the basket, the tokri, or the bundle, the gutri? If all three images were placed in front of you, which image of the three would you prefer? You have been playing all these wonderful games for 63 births. What game do you want to play now, at the confluence age? The best game is the game of the children meeting the Father. I repeat, the best game is the game of the children meeting the Father. Play with the jewels of knowledge that you have received from the Father. There is such a vast difference between jewels and mud. What are you going to do now? You have been playing childish games of carelessness and mischief for a long time. Now, the time for going into the stage of retirement is coming closer. Therefore, now have the determination thoughts to finish all of those things. Become one who constantly has a crown, tilak, and throne. All three are deeply connected. If you have a tilak, you would definitely have a crown and throne. Always keep your elevated fortune and your elevated attainments in front of you. So what do? Always keep your elevated fortune and your elevated attainments in front of you. When you constantly keep in front of you all your attainments and the one from whom you have attained everything, you can never become weak in facing Maya. Simply remember one thing: Baba is with you in all relationships and in everything you do. It is only when you let go of Baba's companionship that you end up playing these unique games. When you have the company of the Father, who carries the responsibility for the whole world, why do you still carry a basket filled with the burdens of your limited responsibilities? Can the one who is carrying the burden of the whole world not carry your little burden? Because you become influenced by your old sanskars, you pick up that bundle of burdens again and again. Then, when you become tired, you cry out for liberation. On the one hand, you hold on to everything, and on the other hand, you call out for liberation. Once you let go, you can become free. This courage of 1 second frees you from all the many types of burdens for many births. I repeat, this courage of 1 second frees you from all the many types of burden of many births. Do you remember the first promise you made to the Father? Mine is one and none other. When the consciousness of mine is finished, and only the one who is yours remains, how can you have the consciousness of mine about limited responsibilities? Where did the consciousness of mine for your own body come from? Where did the consciousness of mine for sanskars of weakness come from? You call yourselves enlightened souls. However, to be an embodiment of knowledge means that your thinking, speaking, and doing, kehna, sochna, or karna, are all equal and constantly powerful. Every act of an enlightened soul is as powerful as the Father's act. Samarth Bap Saman. Your sanskars, virtues, and task should be the same as those of the Almighty Father. Those who remain stable in a powerful stage cannot engage themselves in those amazingly wasteful games. Whilst constantly remaining busy in the game of celebrating a meeting with Bap Dada, become equal to the Father and make others equal to the Father. So, what will you do this year? You have been given this extra time. For what? For the self. This extra time is also very significant. It is so that those who have come later do not complain that they received very little time. Just as when you buy something, you're given a little of something else free. You're given rang. You're given ghat. So too, according to the drama, this extra time for service has been entrusted to you. Therefore, use this treasure with which you have been entrusted according to Bap Dada's elevated directions. Do you understand what you have to do now? Keep yourself busy in world service at every moment and every thought such that all these wasteful games automatically stop. This is the result that Bap Dada wants to see. Acha. To those who consider themselves to be trustees of their every thought and second, to those who maintain the powerful thought of belonging to the one Father and none other, to those who have unlimited powerful thoughts, to those who are constantly busy in thinking benevolent thoughts for world benefit, to those whose sanskars are as powerful as the Father's, to those who bid farewell to everything wasteful by remaining constantly in the Father's company, to such enlightened souls, very many congratulations from Bap Dada. And, as well as this, to those who remain seated on his heart throne, Bap Dada's love, remembrance, and namaste. The spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father. Then there's a meeting with teachers. The occupation of teachers is constantly to remain minds of contentment and to make everyone content. So Bap Dada says, teachers are always content. To be a teacher means that you're constantly engaged in serving others and making them content. To the extent that you are full, you will accordingly be able to make others the same. The specialty of teachers is to be content about everything. Only when you're equal to the Father in his virtues and his task will you be able to remain content. Always check that the Father's virtues are your virtues and that the Father's task is your task. Those who check themselves in this way remain constantly content and also make others content. Teachers are minds of contentment. They are always full and unending, like a mine. This is the occupation of teachers. Then Bap Dada has meeting with parties. There are 4 topics covered. The first one is, the way to attract everyone to the Father is to be a sparkling divine star. The way to attract everyone to the Father is to be a sparkling divine star. Bap Dada says, when your divine star is visibly sparkling, the sparkle of the star will automatically attract everyone to itself. Anything that is sparkling with light definitely attracts souls towards itself. This is an imperishable star, and so everyone will automatically be attracted to the sparkling star. To be drawn to the star means to be drawn to the Father. Do you constantly experience the star of your soul-conscious form to be sparkling? Is it constantly sparkling, or only sometimes? Since the star has begun to sparkle through the Father and the knowledge, it cannot be extinguished, but the percentage of the sparkle can be less or more. What is the reason for that? A lack of attention. Bapdada says, a lack of attention. For instance, when you continuously pour oil into a deepak, a lit lamp, it will burn steadily. When the oil reduces, the flame fluctuates. Similarly, when your attention decreases, the percentage of the sparkle also reduces, and this is why Bapdada's elevated direction is pay attention daily at Amrit Vela for the whole day. Set your timetable at Amrit Vela. What would be the result of a program that is not set? There isn't success. Similarly, here too, if you do not set your timetable daily, you will not then be able to experience yourself to be an embodiment of success. There is attention, but underline it even more. Where there is attention, there cannot be any type of tension. I repeat, where there is attention, there cannot be any type of tension. Just as when it is night, it cannot be day. So tension is night and attention is day. So the day and night cannot stay together. If there is any type of tension, it proves that there is no attention. There is also a difference between simply paying attention and paying total attention. Total attention means to have in yourself the Father's virtues and powers. You have become the Father's children, and so proof of that is definitely needed. Ordinary attention means to think, we are the Father's children anyway. If you are the children of such an elevated Father and do not have any greatness, who would believe you to be the children of such an elevated Father? So the Father's specialties should be visible in the children. This is known as being an intense effort maker. An intense effort maker means one whose thinking and doing are the same, and whose plan and the practical action are the same. I repeat, an intense effort maker means one whose thinking and doing are the same, and whose plan and the practical action are the same. The second topic is, your original religion is remembrance and service. Your original religion is remembrance and service. Bapdada asks, do all of you remain engaged in remembrance and service? Maya salutes those who remain constantly engaged in remembrance and service and steps away for all time. Maya also sees that you are those who remain constantly busy, and so she does not disturb you. She disturbs those who remain idle. So, remain constantly busy, and Maya cannot then come to you. By having remembrance, you create your own future, and by doing service, you do the same for others, as well as for yourself. So, remembrance is your original religion, and to serve is also your duty. The third topic is, the sign of the stage of ascent is that the the final destination will seem to be close. The sign of the stage of ascent is that the final destination will be seen to be close. Bapdada says, do you constantly experience the ascending stage in every action? To step forward means to go into the ascending stage. By having the ascending stage at every step, you will reach the final stage very quickly. Those who are in the ascending stage will clearly be able to see their complete stage, that is, their destination. The closer you go to something, the more clearly that thing becomes visible. Clarity is the sign of closeness. Clarity is the sign of closeness. Now is the time for intense effort. The time to run has passed, and you now have to take a high jump. There is little time and the destination is high. In order to take a high jump, you need to be double light. You cannot take a jump without being double light. The fourth topic is, the way to make every action elevated is to follow the Father. The way to make every action elevated is to follow the Father. While Sakar Father had so many responsibilities, you saw him constantly double light. Compared to him, you have no responsibilities at all. Constantly continue to consider yourself to be an instrument. Bapdada is responsible, and you are just an instrument. By moving along while considering yourself to be an instrument, you will become double light. The Father to continue to move along while considering himself to be an instrument and looked after his responsibilities. So, follow the Father. Before performing every action, check. Am I following the Father? By doing so, every action will be very elevated, and the reward of elevated action will automatically be elevated. Copy the Father, and you will become equal to the Father. Only those who become equal become the jewels who are close. Only those who become equal become the jewels who are close. Then at the time of taking leave, Bapdada says, how many 18th January anniversaries have gone by? What is the result of all the years that have gone by? The result required is that of transformation. The things of the previous year should not continue this year. So, what newness have you brought? What newness have you brought? At the end of your visit to Madhuban, you are asked what you are leaving behind and what you are taking back with you. So too, in this year's result, check what you have renounced and what you have attained. You are celebrating the new year, and the new year means a year filled with newness. Check amongst yourselves to see what results there are. See to what extent you think that on the whole there has been transformation in the majority. This is why Bapdada told you earlier that he would come to see the result. So, what is the result? Service is increasing, and all the serviceable souls are also progressing in their efforts. When the balance is equal between the two, completion will take place. Do all of you remain happy whilst remembering your elevated fortune of the confluence age? In no other age can you receive the fortune that you receive at the confluence age. Each second of the confluence age is extremely fortunate. Each second is instrumental to create your fortune for many births. Therefore, whilst constantly remembering such an elevated fortune, see how much fortune you have within yourself and constantly dance and sing in happiness. Wow! How wonderful is my fortune! Can your internal happiness be seen externally? Others who see you should experience you to have found or attained something. Remain constantly happy in this way. Constantly pay attention so that Maya cannot snatch your treasure of happiness away. अच्छा, मीठे मीठे सिकिल दे बच्चों प्रति माता पिता बाप दादा का याद प्यार और गुड मॉर्निंग रूहानी बाप की रूहानी बच्चों को नमस्ते. रूहानी बच्चों की रूहानी बाप को नमस्ते. The blessing for today is, may you be a renunciate and a greatly fortunate soul who plays the part of a beggar to a prince in a practical way. May you be a renunciate and a greatly fortunate soul, tyagi va shresht bhagyashali, who plays the part of a beggar to a prince in a practical way. The explanation is, in the future, the world emperors will be bestowers. Similarly, let the sanskars of a bestower emerge from now. Do not even have any thought of giving salvation to others by first taking salvation from others yourself. This is known as a beggar to a prince. You yourself should not have any desire to take. Become a beggar to this temporary desire. Only such beggars are images of perfection. Those who play the part of a beggar to a prince in a practical way now are said to be constant renunciates and greatly fortunate souls. A fortune for all time is automatically created through renunciation. A fortune for all time is automatically created through renunciation. The slogan is, in order to remain constantly cheerful, observe every game while seated on the seat of a detached observer. In order to remain constantly cheerful, observe every game while seated on the seat of a detached observer. The special homework to experience the Avyakt stage in this Avyakt month, the fourth point is, if you have love for Father Brahma, show the signs of that love in a practical way. Father Brahma had number one love for the Murli, through which he became Murlidhar. Whatever Father Brahma had love for, and still has love for now, your love for that should also be constantly visible. Study every Murli with a lot of love and become an embodiment of it. Om Shanti.